We are live. It's not live. Can you help me? Or maybe I'm live. I don't know. It says to tilt the camera back. Technical difficulty. Technical difficulty. Let me know in the chat if you can see me and hear me. Oh, I'm sideways. It says I'm sideways. Help me. I mean, I am sideways. Now I'm sideways. Hang on, it's sideways. Let me know if you can hear me. Jacqueline says I'm sideways. Am I sideways now? Now I'm straight, but yeah. I picked the other way. No, you can't turn it. It's locked. So it's stuck that way. So we're just going to have to do it this way. Okay. Yay. You can hear me and you can see me and I'm vertical. I'm going to have to be vertical this episode because it's locked that way and it won't let me switch it back, which drives me crazy. Okay, so today we're here. We're going to make carrot dogs. You guys, I love carrot dogs. They're one of my favorite summertime foods. In fact, I would eat them in the winter too because I think they're fun. Oh my gosh. Hello, Jacqueline. Hello, Belinda. Yes. Artsy Girl Marilyn says it's fine. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that it's fine. Excellent. So what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to show you how I make the carrot dogs. And then I actually have some carrot dogs that I made this morning that I am going to heat up. And then I'm going to give you a sneak peek at some upcoming recipes that I filmed earlier today. So for my carrot dogs, I do things a little bit different, or maybe I'm a little bit more particular. If you've been in my world, you know that I'm a little type A. I like things to be a specific way. So when I do carrot dogs, I buy loose carrots. So I go to Whole Foods. They have loose carrots that are not in a bag. And I literally look for all of the carrots that are about an inch thick. Right? About an inch. That's about an inch I look for the ones that are an inch thick. And then I don't care how long they are because I'm going to trim them to, let me grab a bowl. I'm going to trim them to fit my hot dog bun anyway. So it doesn't matter to me how long they are, but I want them to be about an inch thick because I want to make sure that they actually look like a hot. We're just having all sorts of technical difficulties today. Hopefully I'm not frozen now. Let's see if it catches up for a minute. No, it's still glitchy. I don't like glitchy. Look, then it went speedy. I'm coming, you guys. I'm sorry. Hang tight. Okay. I think I'm back. Okay. So what I was saying is we make carrot dog bowls and we'll take like potatoes and we'll roast up our potatoes and then we'll make carrot dogs and we'll heat those up. And then on top of the roasted potatoes, we'll put our carrot dogs, some onions, some pickles. Okay, it's good now. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you, Jacqueline. Awesome. Okay. So then we put our carrot dogs and we put some chopped up pickles or dill relish or onions and then ketchup and mustard or whatever else you like to put on them. So like a carrot dog bowl. But when I'm doing it for a bun, I get my bun. Where's she going to put that carrot? She is going to put the carrot in a hot dog bun. She's going to make carrot dogs. Let's get our mind out of the gutter, people. So I find the carrot dog and I'm going to find the hot dog bun and I'm just going to cut my carrot to the hot dog bun. So that's, I don't know, not super long. So I'm just gonna chop off the ends of my carrots and get them all about the same length as the bun. And I don't mind if, I don't mind if it's a little longer. And I cut the thick ends off. So right now they're kind of squared off, which I'll show you in a minute what I do to remedy that. Because then we're going to steam these carrots. So we need to make sure that they're ready to go in the steamer. And I will use, Archie's up on the counter. Archie, get down. I will use the ends of the carrots for snacking or something else. So now your carrot is completely rounded off now, or it's squared off. Now to make it look more like a hot dog, I just take the peeler right around the edge. You could use this little topping for your salad, right? And now it rounds it off. So it's not such a blunt edge. And then while we're doing that, I'm going to just turn the pan on so that I can steam these. So we're going to steam these for 15 minutes. So if you have questions, drop your questions so I can answer them while these steam, because we've got 15 minutes to be chatting and hanging out while these steam tonight. Oh goodness, we've got a cat nonsense going on. You guys heard that a couple weeks ago with the Archie picking on Eddie. So as I said, I'm just trimming these carrots up so that they look a little bit softer on the edge, more like a hot dog. Again, that sharp edge that I used the knife, I'm just going to run the peeler right around it and make it a softer, more rounded edge. You can go much further than that with this. I don't. I just want it a little softer. Once it steams and then marinates for the 12 to 24 hours, they usually soften up a little bit on their own too, so they aren't so blunt. One more. Okay, so now I've got 6. So I've got 6 carrots that are all hot dog bun length, and I'm just using the Whole Foods organic hot dog buns, like nothing special. You can look, there's some really great whole grain hot dog buns that we found out west. We haven't seen any here. So I have these carrots that are cut to bun length. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to steam them in my steamer basket, which you would have been able to see if the camera wasn't locked in vertical position, which is over here. And then while they're steaming, we're going to marinate them. Okay. So we're going to make a marinade, not while they're steaming. While they're steaming, we are going to make a marinade for the carrot dogs. And then those carrot dogs will marinate for 12 to 24 hours. So the carrot dogs that we're going to make tonight, John and I will eat those tomorrow. But I'm going to show you a finished carrot dog that I actually put together this morning that's been marinating for about 12, a little bit more, about 13 hours. So I'm really excited to share these with you. And then I'm also going to give you a sneak peek of my dinner plate with 2 more recipes that are coming to you very soon in the next couple of weeks. Okay. So my steamer basket is on. The water's boiling. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my carrots right in the steamer basket. And then I'm going to cover it so that the carrots can steam. And because I'm distracted and talking to you, I'm also going to set a timer to make sure that they don't go beyond 15 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer too. So I always say to steam your carrots between 12 and 20 minutes. If you do end up getting skinnier carrots, they won't need to steam for 15 minutes. But like I said, I intentionally selected those 1-inch carrots. So they need to steam for about 15 minutes in order to be knife tender. So when I check them, I'm going to make sure that the knife slides in them easily, and then we'll put them in the marinade. So while those are steaming, let's make our marinade. And please, if you have questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll answer them as we're making our marinade. So our marinade recipe is on VegInspired.com. After the video, I will link it below to the blog post where I've done this before. The first thing that we're going to put in our marinade is 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce. You can use tamari, you can use liquid aminos or coconut aminos if you don't use soy sauce. anything that you would use in place of soy sauce. We also have a mushroom umami sauce on VegInspired.com that is a salt-free alternative. You could use something like that as well. Then we're going to do all of our tablespoon items. So we're going to do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Wait, finish up my apple cider vinegar. Nope. And then I'm going to do a tablespoon of the vegan Worcestershire sauce. I get the vegan Worcestershire sauce from Whole Foods, but there are other brands. You can order them on Amazon, or like I said, you can get it at Whole Foods. A tablespoon. We're going to do a tablespoon of whole grain mustard. You can also use a spicy mustard if you want your carrot dog to be a little spicier. Here's the thing that I want to make sure that you totally get. Okay. I need to use the 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to do the half teaspoons of the dry first before I use the 1 teaspoon of the wet. So I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then we're going to do a teaspoon of liquid smoke. Now, I found this liquid smoke on Amazon, and I love it. It is all natural concentrated liquid hickory smoke, and the only ingredients are natural liquid smoke. If you've ever read the ingredients on some of the other liquid smokes, if you're an ingredient reader like me, you might be like, I don't want to use liquid smoke, but this one's awesome. So I'll put a link in the description below for my Amazon for this liquid smoke, but it's so great. And it has a really great smoky flavor, which I'm sure you would assume it has a smoky flavor since it's liquid smoke. But one of the things I wanted to point out is while I was preparing for this, I looked up, just out of curiosity, I looked up the ingredients in a hot dog. And I don't mean the animal products. Like, we all know that there's stuff in there we don't want to look at. What I was looking for is what else do they use besides animal products? And you know what they use? Now, I made this recipe 6 or 7 years ago, at least. Maybe even longer. They use garlic powder in their hot dogs. They use onion powder in hot dogs. They use smoked paprika in hot dogs. They use sugar or high fructose corn syrup or some sweetener in hot dogs. Like, they literally flavor the animal products with the same plant foods that we're flavoring them with. Now, do they put liquid smoke in it? Probably not, because they're assuming that you're going to cook it over a grill or something of that nature, right? But they could. And that's why it's really important for you to kind of understand that a lot of times when we're making something plant-based, it's really the flavors and the texture. And so these carrots, they're going to look like a hot dog. They're going to have a flavor like a hot dog. We're going to cook them kind of like you'd cook a hot dog. And then we're going to eat them like a hot dog on a bun with hot dog toppings. And so when you go that far to do that with your plant foods, it really does make a difference to make them taste good. Let me grab a whisk to whisk this up. Okay, so now I'm just going to whisk the marinade, which is the soy sauce, the liquid smoke, the apple cider vinegar, the Worcestershire, the whole grain mustard, the garlic powder, the onion powder, and the smoked paprika. We're just going to whisk this up. And then we wait for the carrot dogs to finish steaming. So what questions do you have? One of the questions that I get a lot, or something that people ask me, usually non-vegans will ask me, why do you want your food to look or taste like animal products? And it's always an interesting question because I didn't go vegan because I didn't like animal products. If you know my story, I really struggled in the beginning. I didn't want to give up burgers. I didn't want to give up buffalo wings and blue cheese. Like, there was a lot of nostalgia with those foods. And so for me, it was not that I didn't enjoy animal products. It was that I didn't want to eat animals anymore. And so for me, having a carrot dog in a bun with ketchup and relish and onions, that brings back that picnicky nostalgia without having to eat the animal products. And that's where like it kind of makes it a little more fun, right? I love burgers, but I love veggie burgers now. In fact, one of the things that we do in our travel around the country, if you didn't know, I'm coming to you live from my RV in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And one of the things we do is we go to restaurants while we're traveling. So we go to vegan restaurants. We go and see, we love burgers, like I said. So we're always looking for good veggie burger restaurants. And we have a few on our list that are in the top. I would say they're in the top 5, right? If you watched my video when I was cooking with Dina at Dina's Vegan Deli and Desserts, right? We were making cheesesteaks. It's not that I didn't like animal products. It's that I didn't want to eat the animals. And so making foods that are very similar or have a similar texture and I guess taste, but more from the flavoring that you add to it, not the like animal taste, really does make a difference when you're going plant-based. Sorry, my pot squeals on this. So we're just waiting for our carrots to steam. Any questions? You guys, I'm so excited to make these carrot dogs. While they're steaming, I am going to start the air fryer so that I can cook my carrot dog to show you and do a taste test of these carrot dogs. So let me do that real quick. Oh, I can't do that, can I? So this is done. Shoot. It's plugged into the same outlet and that will blow a fuse and we don't want to do that while we're live. So I'm going to have to wait for the carrot dogs to finish cooking before I turn on that air fryer because we've blown a fuse more than once in this little RV cooking our food. So what questions do you have? I see some of you are live. What are you wondering? What do you want to know? Where to next? After we leave Pittsburgh, we head to Ohio. So we're going to be in Ohio for a month, and then we're actually going to come back through Pennsylvania and head to the northeast part of PA to do some exploring around there and hit up one of our favorite vegan burger spots. So we're excited about that. So that's a great question. Awesome. Okay, so we are live making carrot dogs. I have 6 carrots steaming. And they're right now they're steaming in a pot of water back here. Like I said, I didn't want to be vertical, but it got locked into vertical. And so here we are, we're vertical. You would have been able to see it if it was horizontal, but here we are. This is how we roll. We had a technical difficulty. And what we're going to do is we have a marinade right here. We have a marinade right here for the carrots that are in the steamer basket. We're going to put them in the marinade, and then we're going to marinate them for about 12 to 24 hours. So John and I will eat these tomorrow night, the ones that we're making live. But I made some for you so that you could see where you could see me eat a carrot dog, because isn't that the fun part, the taste test? Linda wants to know what part of Ohio. We're going to be near Cleveland. We're going to be near Cleveland. So it's not really a long drive. It's only a couple of hours from where we are outside of Pittsburgh. So it's going to be good fun. We're excited. This is the second time we've been to that area of Ohio. We're going to hit up Cuyahoga Falls National Park, Cuyahoga National Park, Cuyahoga Valley National Park. We've been hiking every day. For those of you that maybe follow me on Instagram, you know that we walk or hike every day. And we've been hiking every day since we've been to Pennsylvania. We're really close to a couple of state parks. And so this morning we went on a really great hike. Like, it's so fun. Everything's so green and beautiful. It's just really wonderful to be able to do that. My behind the scenes cameraman fixed where I plugged my air fryer in. So I'm going to turn that on. So the carrot dogs that I made this morning, they've been marinating for, like I said, about 13 hours. And this is what they look like. So I marinated 6. So we've already had a couple of them. So they're just cooked carrots, steamed carrots in the marinade. And as you'll see, they kind of soak up some of that marinade. And then I'm going to cook these in my air fryer. But here's the cool thing about carrot dogs. You could lay these on a grill, a charcoal grill. You could lay them on a gas grill. You could cook them in a pan, right? There's a video of me cooking them in our cast iron skillet. And we say about 2 to 3 minutes per side if you're rolling them like it's 4-sided. If you're just doing two sides, then maybe 3 minutes and 3 minutes. So cooking in about 5 to 6 minutes. We found that we really enjoy just tossing them in the air fryer. And again, it's a carrot. Like I could eat two of these, right? If you do get skinny ones, you can eat two and just put two on the bun, opposite each other so that they lay flat. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get these carrots. They get one of these carrots in there, and I'm gonna eat it on a bun, and you guys are gonna think that's the coolest thing ever. Hopefully, Belinda says I'm in Dayton, about 4 hours from Cleveland. Yes, we haven't made it down to Dayton. We did Columbus. That was probably the closest, only other part of Ohio that we've really done outside of Cleveland. So yeah, our carrots have probably about 4 minutes left, and I'm going to throw my hot dog in the air fryer. Actually, let me bring So I have the Instant Pot Vortex air fryer. Just going to lay my carrot dog right in there. Go put it over here. And it's going to cook for 5 minutes. So those are my marinated ones. Now, the other fun part about this recipe is you can double it. So last week, 2 weeks ago, we had family in town and I made 12 carrots. And so I used the same container and I just doubled all the ingredients just to make the liquid a little bit more. You can also add a little bit of water. I don't like to add too much water because I want the carrots to absorb the marinade, not water. And so I don't love to do that, but you could also put them in a plastic Ziploc bag. Personally, I don't like to put the hot carrots in a plastic bag, so that's why I put them in glass, but you could transfer them to a plastic bag after they cool, and that allows you to, the carrots because the carrots could sit in a different way, they can sit in the liquid differently than they might in one of these long, like, baking dishes that I have. Pyrex storage baking dish that I use. So, okay. What other questions? Interesting. Okay. I'm trying to think of a question that was just recently asked to me. There was something I was going to talk about, and I don't remember what it was. Anyway, where are you tuning in from? There's 10 of you watching me live. Where are you tuning in from? We know Belinda's in Ohio. She just told us. Where else are some of you tuning in from? I'm in Pittsburgh, as I mentioned, north of Pittsburgh, and we're headed to Ohio. That's how we got to talking about Ohio. But where are you tuning in from? And have you ever tried a carrot dog? That's a good question. You let me know. Have you ever tried a carrot dog? Just picking up the counter a little bit. Ooh, I can see that you cannot see my plate yet, and I'm so excited to reveal the 2 new recipes that are coming to you soon. Awesome, awesome. Okay. My carrots have probably about 2 minutes. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. I do want to show you the knife tender. I mean, I feel like people know that, but I just like to make sure that I give you all the information that you need. Dolores says, yes. Yes, you've tried a carrot dog. Yes. Mary says, hello from Southern California. Hello, Mary from Southern California. Southern California is on our list. We want to drive out Route 66 from Chicago to Southern California in the RV. So it's on the list. I have the little pamphlets, the little tour book that I'm gonna show, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna use the tour books to plan my trip down Route 66. Belinda says I've not tried carrot dogs, but I want to. This is perfect. You're gonna be able to try them. And I did this recipe now because it's the weekend before Memorial Day weekend. Next week's Memorial Day, so we won't be live. I don't think. I'll update you and let you know if I'm gonna be live. Mary says, yay. Yes, I'm super excited to go. We've done little parts of Route 66, like near Albuquerque. We did the musical highway, which is it's kind of still there. You can kind of still hear it, but they're not updating it like they used to. Okay, so our carrot dogs are done. Let me grab the other oven mitt. Because sometimes if I don't remember to grab the oven mitt, I grab the pan and touch it. Okay, so my carrots are in here in the steamer basket, making a mess. And then I'm going to take my knife And I don't think you're going to be able to see this, but I'm going to try without spilling the hot boiling water. I'm going to just stick my knife in it. And if it goes in, that means they're done. You don't want them you don't want them overcooked now, because then when you put them on the grill or when you cook them in the pan, they could fall apart. And so you don't want that to happen. Well, as long as I have them here. So then what I do, and again, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning, I'm kind of type A. So one carrot goes that way. One carrot goes this way. So I just alternate them based on the way that they're shaped. Because I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. And then this pan doesn't get that hot, but I just don't want to touch anything that's super hot while I'm live. Let me put this away. Okay. Then I didn't get a spoon, so I'll just use my measuring spoon. Then I just literally kind of baste them with the marinade. I mean, sometimes I shake the whole container. I just put the lid on it and shake it, because that allows you to get the marinade all over all the carrot dogs. And so because the carrots are hot right now, they've warmed up the marinade a little bit. And it really does smell. John and I joked like this morning when we got home from our walk, because I made the carrot dogs before we went on our walk this morning. We joked that it smelled like a hot dog in here, because it kind of smelled like a hot dog. So now you've got all these carrot dogs that are steamed and ready to marinate overnight. But I have a carrot dog that I just cooked up in my air fryer, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a taste test. So here's my carrot dog that I just cooked. I'm going to set them on my bun. Dolores said I had them for the first time several years ago. The instructors made them using baby carrots. Yes. So thank you for reminding me. That's what I was going to say. You can actually make them using baby carrots. So you could steam them just like I did and then marinate them. You can also cook them in the marinade. So in my budget-friendly plant-based diet cookbook, I did a 90-minute recipe. It's not the exact same recipe as this, because you need a little bit of water to kind of cook the carrots, but you cook them in a sauce. And then you have cooked carrots in a sauce, and it's a longer recipe, right? This recipe can come together in the 15 minutes that it takes to 20 minutes to prep and steam the carrots. The recipe comes together, and then you just have to do it 12 to 24 hours ahead of time. With the one where you're cooking it, you're basting it, and you're letting it cook, and you're stirring and cooking and stirring and cooking and stirring. So you kind of want to be, I like to plan ahead and know that I'm going to use the carrot dogs, and then I just make them ahead of time. Dolores said, good, the toppings that make them like hot dogs. I've not eaten hot dogs in 30 years, so may not be the person to ask. Right, like it's going to be the toppings, right? It looks like a hot dog on a bun. If you were just casually passing by, you'd think that I had a hot dog here on a bun. Like you might not even know that it's a carrot unless you were watching the video. So I'm going to make it with some toppings. I'm going to put some dill relish right on top. And again, I get the dill relish from Whole Foods. I'm going to put some sweet onion, but you could use any onion. And then I want to know, are you team ketchup or team mustard on your hot dog? John made his with mustard, and it looked so pretty, but I am, and always have been, team ketchup. I am a ketchup girl. Oops, I got ketchup all over the place. And I like a lot of ketchup, so it's not going to be as pretty. But there's my hot dog. You guys, let's give it a taste. Mm. 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 Wow. So you can taste the flavor of you can taste the carrot a little bit, but you can also taste the flavor of the liquid smoke and the soy sauce and the mustard and the onion and garlic powder. Like you can really taste that. And it is smoky, which I love. And then with it, we might have gotten a little glimpse. We have whole food baked beans made with my barbecue sauce and then a bunch of other spices to make them perfect. And then I baked them. And then mac salad. You guys, I love hot dogs and macaroni salad. I would think that my mom made macaroni salad like throughout the summer, as like a side dish to our dinners. Like I loved macaroni salad. These two recipes, the macaroni salad and the baked beans, are coming to you later this week and then next week, next Thursday. So they won't be in time. The second one won't be in time for Memorial Day, but it will be in time for all your other summer picnics. But yeah, you'll have your carrot dogs, you'll have your mac salad because that's coming out Thursday, and then next Thursday you'll have your baked beans. But I'm super duper excited about this recipe. I hope you are too. Jacqueline says, will you be giving the recipe for the carrot hot dogs? So the carrot dogs recipe is on VegInspired. I'll put a link in the description below this video, but if you go to VegInspired or just search VegInspired carrot dogs, there's a recipe already on VegInspired.com. But I like to redo them live so that you can see like how I actually am cooking in my kitchen, because that's really the fun part, right? You can look at a recipe online any day, but when you see it in like real life and watch me eat it, right? Watch me eat the little hot dog. That's fun. Would you steam the baby carrots for the same amount of time? I don't think so. I think the baby carrots would probably be more like 7 to 9 minutes. Again, you'd still want them to be knife tender. You'd want to be able to put the knife in them easily and have them come out. If you're steaming it and then marinating it, and then you could even do that and then marinate the baby carrots and then roll them in croissant dough or the pop open dough, the vegan one, and make pigs in a blanket or carrot bunnies in a blanket if you want to do that instead, right? Because they're baby carrots. You're welcome, Jacqueline. I never ate hot dogs very often, even when I ate meat, because the ingredients. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I loved hot dogs as a kid. Like that grosses me out to think that I ate hot dogs like that. But now I love carrot dogs. Like I love them. They are so good. They're so good. So hopefully you'll try this amazing carrot dog recipe. Give the beans a little bit of a taste. Mm-hmm. And the mac salad. Any other questions before we go? Ooh, croissant dough. Yeah. Yeah, because you could do pig, like bunnies in a blanket or carrots in a blanket. You don't have to call them pigs. But when you used to do the old pigs in a blanket, we used to make those for like Christmas appetizers. My family was appetizer. That's what we ate for Christmas Day is we'd eat appetizers and then sandwiches. And so we always did pigs in a blanket. That was so fun. You could totally do those with baby carrots. That would work. Awesome. I'm so glad you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, Thursday's recipe that's going to come out is our mac salad. And then next Thursday is going to be the baked bean recipe. So you'll have all of these fun picnic recipes for your picnics for the summer. We have a couple of other fun recipes coming out. And like I said, I'll update you on whether we're going to be live next Monday or if we're going to send out a video before for Memorial Day. Thank you. I'll definitely check out the recipe and try it. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in our next video. Until then, eat more plants and live veg inspired. Bye.